Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Paisa once again, just making another video. This video we're going to be talking mostly about generals for bosses. Just for starters, a general for a boss, you want to go to a tavern, recruit, and try to get Washington down on one of these right here. He's a great starter. If you want to see who he is, go to America, Washington. His special skill, increased mounted troop attack by 35% when generals leading the army. You get him by buying them for 27 mil on gold. Gold is fairly easy to get nowadays, especially with the Vikings. You just have to rally a lot of Vikings with your alliance, and through time you'll end up getting it. As you can see, all my alliance, they're always doing Vikings throughout the entire time. Between everybody, as you can see, my top right as the gold, 487 mil, and that's just weeks and months of doing nothing but Vikings. So that shouldn't be an issue on buying a general. Once you get more advanced and actually end up getting a more advanced general, either you buy them or you win them, whatever your case may be. Martinez, he's by far one of the best mounted generals for bosses, in my opinion. I love using them. As you can see, a special skill that he comes with, the attack of the mounted troops that are led by the general increased by 25%, and if the general brings any dragon from the pasture, the mounted troop attack will additionally increase by 15%. So 15 and the 25 be 40%. That'll be 5% more than Washington. So that's a plus. Any little bit works. Once you get a general, you want to cultivate. On the bottom you'll see cultivate. You'll end up seeing at first the numbers to the right, they're going to be all zeros. You want to just gold cultivate, and it will show you. On all the reds, they'll be green at first, but once you get higher, they'll start getting red and stuff like that. And you basically want to cultivate them evenly throughout the numbers. Once you get about 250 300, it'll start getting a lot harder, so you'll want to cultivate times 10 using gems. It sucks that you have to waste gems, but it's well worth it. Once you get that to the max out to the 500, you'll see my troop attack, it's 170.40%. So all this would just start going into play. Also with gear, you also want to get gear that's specifically for the mounted troops, because that's all you're going to be using is mounted troops when you're doing boss rallies. You don't want to use any other troops, only mounted. You don't want to mix either, because if you start mixing, you're going to get a lot more wounded, and that's one of the things that you want to reduce, is have minimal wounded or even having no wounded whatsoever. Okay, so as you can see as my gear, this is my mounted dragon spear. The basic attributes, it's going to increase the mounted troop attack by 40%. On the bottom, you can see the refining attributes. You see that I refined it for mounted troop attacks on all of them. This one I'm still working on, the refining attributes. It sucks. Only one is good for that 16.5% of the mounted troop defense. Same thing with this one, mounted troop defense. I'm still working on it. But as you see on the top, it says range dragon boots. It doesn't say mounted like the other ones. Okay, now that's one thing that you have to keep in mind, is once you're getting gear, whether it's dragon, king's gear, or even the new gear, I can't even pronounce that one, but just keep in mind that there's going to be some that's going to say mounted troops, like this one, mounted dragon's troop or boots, but you're going to see that it has no stats for your mounted troops at all. It has ground troop defense, all troop load, city, in-city siege machine attack, and siege machine health points. It has nothing to do with your mounted troops. So if you go to the other one, the ranged dragon boots, you're going to see mounted troop defense. So this is one that you want to get because it's going to increase the stats for your mounted troops. Same thing for the marching mounted troop attack. So it's one thing that you want to keep in mind is just because it says mounted troop on the title of it doesn't mean that's going to be for the mounted troops at all. So you want to, again, just keep an eye on that. Make sure that you're actually getting the gear that you need on your stats. Another thing is the specialty of the general. Specialties right here, it would increase the stats of the general. So it'll be this one has mounted troop attack and the health points. Bottom right, if you click on specialty, you'll see once you go higher, it'll start increasing the attributes. At first you'll start with 1%. Once you clear that one out, and it'll add another 1%, which will be 2, and so on and so forth. So you want to increase these. Each one is different. This one marching mounted troop attack by 2%. This one march speed. So you see on the third one, mounted troop attack, health points, and defense, that starts increasing. So you want to end up looking into this as well. Try to increase it. Skill books, same thing. Since I'm strictly just using this general for bosses, for rallies, I just put all the skill books for the mounted troops, the mounted troop health points, the mounted troop speed, and the mounted troop defense. I couldn't add attack to it because his main attribute is already attack, so I couldn't add it to it, so I just added in everything else that I could. Another thing to look into is dragons. Once you start getting into the pasture and you get to pasture 30, you actually get Fafnir. And as you can see, he's equipped general is Martinez. He's gonna basically boost up my attack. As you see on the bottom, refining attributes, I have him refined for mounted troop attacks. And I believe the max is 15%, so I'm still kind of working on him. If you click on him, you'll be able to see that his current skill effects, it's going to increase the mounted troop attack by 10%. If I get him to a higher level, it's going to be 15%. So the higher the dragon is, the higher your stats is going to be that he's going to contribute basically. And the last thing will be the academy. You always want to research academy. This is very important in the game. If you're going to be doing boss rallies, you want to get, like I said, your mounted troops stats as high as you can. Like this one, increase the single mounted troop attack by 200. So you want to try to increase as much as you can. It's important to increase on all the troops, but if you're just starting off and just want to focus on the bosses right now, because bosses is one of the big things in the game, and getting gear and stuff like that. So like this one, the cavalry armor, increase the single mounted troop defense by 100%. And the more you go, the more you'll be able to increase more stuff. This one's increased mounted troop attack by 100. Like I said, you just want to increase as much as you can. Once you're more advanced, you're on the tab over, you go to military advance, and you basically continue doing the same thing here. The increased single mounted troops health points, single mounted troop defense. So all it is about building stats and getting your stats higher for the specific troops. It's mounted troops every time. Even on your Monarch gear, if you go here, you'll see my equipment is for mounted troops. Mounted troops health points and mounted troop defense. So everything is for mounted. If I'm gonna attack or go to archers, I'll switch to the archers, and you'll see all this just ended up switching to archer, which will be ranged troop health points, ranged troop attack, etc., etc. So switch back to Kaz because that's usually what I'm been using mostly. But that's about it in building your general. It's gonna be a process. It's gonna be slow. Just be patient and just get as much bosses as you can. And like I said, do never mix. Okay, always mounted troops no matter what. And even if they're different tiers, I wouldn't recommend that either. Just use, if you have 300,000 of the tier 12 mounted troops, just use pure tier 12. That's it. If you have tier 11, just use tier 11. That's it. Do not mix with any other tiers or anything like that. Same thing, you'll end up getting more wounded than you normally want. So just keep that in mind, okay? If you have any questions, just please comment below. Thank you.